Hi, it's John. So I'd like to recall really my soul origins and my different past lives that I've become aware of through the recent years since my awakening 4 years ago. And I'm going to do the very human thing of cleaning out my beautiful motorhome after our family has been camping down by the beach for a night. And so I'll be making lots of noise and doing all the things that makes me human. And you might not see me on camera all that much, but I have a microphone right next to me, so you'll hear me as I go. Okay, so I'm just going to start, and I'll try and just pretend you're here and you're watching and listening. Okay, so first I'm going to start with cleaning this work surface as I talk. So my soul origins, I feel, are very interesting. I don't know too much about where my soul was born into. I do feel that many souls take on kind of what we might call angelic or very high vibration roles. And in my first kind of memories or awakenings, I remember I felt like I was an elemental soul, and I traveled through the universe. And as I traveled, I would always look for somewhere where I could assist. And throughout the universe, my role was to help. It's quite hard to describe. To help kind of channel and focus. So by channel, I mean almost like wrapping a kind of a pillar of light around perhaps another being's gift or their love or their focus. And so some of my early recalls are visiting star nebulas and working with different souls as they were being born. And there, in a nebula, I would help. I kind of step in and help the kind of seed of a star, the very early incarnations of a star, for the soul to integrate and to get really connected into the role that they were doing. So if they were busy working as if their role was to become a star, then that's what I would do. I would kind of sit with them and help them in their first early stages. And this makes sense in my little human mind, in that when I did a BQH, the Beyond Quantum Healing session with Shane from Unbiased on the Fence, and that was just an incredible session. I did at one point have memories of being the sun of the solar system. And what was magical about that was that I was able to see and witness the birth of the planets, and I saw them as my children, planet Earth and all the other planets in the solar system in their early stages. And so it was like I was stepping into that role of helping the soul of the sun really get started. And then after that, I don't know, I feel like I'm probably going to jump around between different space and time, so we're going to see how that goes. Yeah, after that, I remember being a being, and through many lifetimes, through many galactic lifetimes, and through those lifetimes, being able to do things like I was a seer, so I would be able to see through any point in space and time, and I could locate people anywhere in the universe, and I could connect with them, and I could also, if I had their permission, I could step in and kind of see what they were seeing, feel they were feeling, and that it was a gift that I could do at any point. I could just step in and like be them and help them. So that was quite magical. I also have memories of being able to doing the bathroom now. I'll not move the camera. You'll just hear me rummaging around. Um, yeah, there was. I felt like my different roles were between like the darkness and the light and everything in between. And so in my darker roles, I would um, perhaps be hunting for people. Um, and when I was hunting for people, I would, help the kind of darker entities that I was working with to locate people, and then I guess they would end up doing something pretty horrible to the person I located. And that I also taught people how to do this. And then I felt like there was karma as a result of that, and I had lifetimes where I paid back for this, and so I would. This came through in a recent client session where I would visit, locate and then visit people through space and time and help them. So I'd save them, and this took place over hundreds, maybe thousands of years, and I really helped many people and helped rebalance that karma of what I did when I was, working for darker entities. And then I also recall being a seer, and this was the kind of first experience I'd had of a more kind of galactic previous life, and I felt like a kind of elf-like creature. I think I looked a bit like an elf. I don't think I really was. But the features were similar, like long ears. I think I had maybe green and brown skin. And yeah, so in that lifetime, I was a seer on a planet, and the planet was it doesn't exist anymore, but the planet was in this solar system, and it was my job to be like the early warning system of that planet. And we didn't believe that our enemies had that they had the ability to like destroy a planet. And when I found out, because I could like detect their emotions and feel what was going on, when I felt the kind of surge of them stepping into this kind of high anger attack mode, it was too late. Like, I knew very quickly that they were launching an attack on the planet, that they had the capability of doing it when I looked. And so when they did destroy the planet, just before they destroyed the planet, I was very torn. I felt like I should be warning the people that lived on my planet, but I knew it was too late. It didn't matter. Like, you can't evacuate a planet in 30 minutes. So yeah, that was that lifetime, and that took a lot of healing. It took a couple of years for me, every morning staring in the mirror, asking in meditation to see this incarnation of me, and then working on that forgiveness, and it was beautiful. It was it's been here. It was beautiful to be able to do that. And then other incarnations, I've had many readings and client sessions where my past lives have come through. So many past lives, as on Lemuria. I've had many as like a kind of dolphin, shape shifting, part humanoid, part dolphin, maybe merman, and I'd had client sessions where I've seen that version of me, and the love I've had with others during that lifetime, and in this lifetime I've had many many yearnings to sail. I sailed so much for many years when I was a child and teenager, and a little bit since I've been an adult, and it's always with me. I still live by the sea. And yeah, in that story, in that lifetime, there was, as much trauma, there was wars, there was, I know from a reading I'd had with another friend that they'd had a reading together, and I'd been their older brother, and I'd gone to war as a teenager, and um, it was just a very traumatic time, and I'd also um, died during battle during an attack. Um, so that was Lemuria. I do have like recalls of Atlantis. Um, they're much more. I feel like they're going to be more revealed to me because they seem to coexist with this 3D reality, which is super interesting because when I visit places, I see like Lemuria or I see Atlantis as they were, and they're kind of superimposed in this lifetime, which is in this 3D reality, which is super fascinating. Um, and then I think that's the toilet done. A little bit more. Um, and then I've also had past lives. I'll probably jump around even more now. Past lives in Japan for sure, and in this lifetime I've been to Japan 3 times. It's such a beautiful place, and it was quite funny when I was there. I often got mistaken for being Japanese, even though I don't speak any Japanese in this lifetime. But in previous lifetimes, I was a samurai warrior, if I can say it, and I was also uh, like a warrior, a healer. I think I've been many things in Japan, and I feel like I've reconnected with quite a few people since then. Um, I have also had recalls of being in England and around Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, and having recalls of being like a druid, like kind of part human, but also with additional gifts. I worked as a grid worker and as a warrior, as a wizard that would protect these sacred sites, and were often battling with darker forces who were trying to take control. Um, and around that time, for at least one incarnation, I was also like a giant, which was super cool. And it's quite funny because in this lifetime, I'm about average height or maybe just below average height, whatever that is, and I still, like, especially after meditation, often feel the size and height of that being. It was colossal. I'm not sure the exact height, somewhere between 40 and 60 feet, maybe 70 feet high. Um, and then also I have Lemurian guides. So I definitely remember being in Lyran, not Lemurian, Lyran. Lyran guides. That's a super exciting past, and that's where I work with Emenshal who was like a father figure for me at the time, and he really helped me really work through my gifts. So like being able to channel source light, which is so powerful in this lifetime. And how far did I get? Yeah, druids, and then there was also kind of epic, almost like movie style adventures that I had when I was a druid. I have recalls of working with others to protect sites, to shut down grids when they were being attacked or going to be misused, like standing stones and other sacred sites. And what else? Apologies if you just get a shot of my butt in here. Just cleaning the shower. Protecting sites. I could also I remember working with stone, being able to levitate stone, with sound, sound healing. A theme for me has also been the sword. I had a kind of early kind of pre-awakening, or like a small awakening, when I was 17, and my mother was trying out Reiki healing, and I'd, in a session, experienced so much. It was really intense, really incredible. But one of the things I experienced was seeing like Camelot, the legend of King Arthur, the sword in the stone, and it was like my truth. And the sword is carried with me from kind of ancient times in Japan through to all the way through to being I was a knight at points, and like a leader in England. I get the feeling that was after lifetimes in Japan. Like I picked up my sword work and I'd refined it over several lifetimes. And I also use a light sword now in my work. I feel like that sword is always with me, like it has a consciousness of its own, and that we are one. I say in meditation, I've been teaching my son this as well, like we say, sword be with me during meditation. It's a really beautiful kind of calling of that being, that entity of my sword to come in and assist. And I use it to remove entities from others. Yeah, how far did we get? And in terms of closer, like the last few hundred years, I've had so many, and I'm sure I'll forget some. They'll come back to me. So yeah, I've had ones where I've been in at like what we used to call witches. So I'd been in situations where I was like I'm just going to put you down here somewhere. Let's try that. Okay, just going to clean the cab area. So yeah, I'd lived in this area where I live just now, which is in East Lothian in Scotland, and I had been a healer. And as in a past life, what I'd done is, this is really vivid. My name was Trinity, and I was like a female healer, and I had like an underground crystal cave, and it's really interesting because it's where I run past it every day, and my morning run just out in the countryside, just south of the town of Dunbar. And what was super interesting was that I would both heal people there, and I'd work with the crystals, and I'd also travel, like interdimensional travel, and I could help others travel. And that resonates with my ancient Egypt lifetimes, where, and this came through in a recent reading as well, a recent client session, where I had a gift to be able to travel through, like using a crystal, which was also had an entity in it. We would travel through the center of a pyramid, anywhere in space and time, and help rescue anyone that needed rescuing. And we would also help rebalance darkness and light. So that was a super powerful experience. Just recalling that, and I felt like in this lifetime, in Trinity's lifetime, in the last 200-300 years, I did like a similar version of that, but I was using the crystals, and there was quite a few of them. They're really powerful. It's like a crystal cave. And it's quite interesting because next to it now there's like a big kind of water treatment, kind of underground. I think it's quite old. I think it's like a couple hundred years old. Underground water treatment plants just next to where I recall her crystal cave. And there was also, there's always been struggles with darkness and light, and I think I've worked for both and bounced between them, and more recently I was, I think this goes back up to a couple hundred years ago, possibly through 2 to 3 lifetimes, where I was like a healer, like a medicine woman, and I'd been in lots of battles with others that were trying to take over. Let's get rid of a notification. Uh, Trying to get rid of others that had gifts like us and take control of sacred sites. That's always been a big theme for me. So yeah, we often battled, and then where I live right now, just next to where I live, in fact, it's just the other side of these trees that you can see behind me, is where we'd battled, and uh, I was so tired of them killing and you know, injuring and destroying my friends and family that I retaliated, and I like brought in all these negative entities, and not only did they destroy my enemy, they destroyed me, and there was like a huge wound left in the land, and it feels like one of the reasons I'm living here now is to help and have helped heal that space. Um, Yeah, and so I'd had past lives as Native American Indians. Over it really resonates with me on the west coast of Canada and like around Seattle and Vancouver, which is also where I travel with my day job, and that's really interesting because I remember fighting the armies uh, that were trying to settle there. I remember my past loves, my gifts, some of the people. You know, I felt like a warrior and a healer. It's definitely been a theme. And yeah, what else? And then more recently, there was a lifetime in New York. That's pretty close. It might have been my previous lifetime to this, and I was a wife of a violent husband, and I had two children, I think. And yeah, unfortunately, that life ended. He eventually killed me. But I thought, you know, with my gifts, I could like control him and calm him and protect him. But that's definitely a theme for some of my lifetimes, has been like trying to take on too much darkness and trying to, you know, getting wrapped up in it, or you know, just becoming too close to it, when I'm trying to heal it and rebalance it. So that feels like a lesson. It feels like in this lifetime I feel much more balanced. Um, so that feels encouraging. It feels really exciting. And yeah, all the way through many lifetimes, just this theme of being able to like, if someone has a gift, I can either help activate them or I can like help them raise their vibrations. When they express their gift, their energy, I can like wrap a kind of energy around it that allows it to focus. Like I imagine like, you know, a beam of like love shooting out of someone's heart, and I can like focus it, like hold it in a field so that they can, my hands are tingling, so that they can focus it and practice it, and then work with them to help really, you know, strengthen that gift. And then in this lifetime, really quickly, I am 45. I was born in Leicester in England, moved around loads as a child, as my father was in the textiles industry, and he was born in Scotland, and we, as I grew up in England, like moved around Leicester, Watford, then we moved up to Dollar in Scotland. We moved a couple of times in Dollar, and then where I started school. Then we moved down to North Berwick, which is near Edinburgh. Um, Spent a long time in Edinburgh, in North Berwick. Then moved to, at the end of my primary school, moved down to Chorley near Manchester. I then went to high school there, and came back up to North Berwick about second year in high school, and then uh, went through high school. Met my wife at high school, when I was 15, and we, as we got together, we both went to study in Dundee, which is just further north in Scotland. And then after I got my first job, moved to Perth, which is quite close to Dundee. And then after Perth, moved down to Edinburgh. And then since Edinburgh, we'd been there for a couple of years into the early 2000s, and came down to Dunbar, which is feels like I've done this kind of big loop around Scotland. So yeah, Dunbar has been absolutely fantastic. We've been here 22 years. Um, and we've had 5 houses. We keep moving around constantly. That's been a big theme. And so having a motorhome's been absolutely fantastic because now we can travel every weekend. Um, and now we have like a big like 6 bedroom house and we're looking to downsize. Um, I've spent a career, 25 years in software development and just gone part-time now and looking to just balance my music and healing work and also my day job. So yeah, um, that's me and my past. And yeah, really excited to learn more. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot more about ancient Egypt and Atlantis. And I do feel like this kind of draw of technology and kind of preparing, like this feeling of preparing to be ready for new technologies that are appearing. And this includes things like just coming away more from fossil fuels. And this is for me personally, and being able to work more with electricity and also to practice my gifts. Like I'm practicing, telekinesis, telepathy, I guess aerokinesis. Um, I haven't done much with water, but yeah, I feel like I should explore more there as well. And sound, of course. Anyway, that's me. I hope this video helps for me as a vlog, to like a diary of past lives, what I've learned so far. And yeah, look forward to sharing more as I learn it. Thank you. Sending Miller from Scotland.